Looking to add depth to your garden or your yard? There is no better time than now. Taft talks with our garden expert Paul James about tall plants that are perfect for a yard of any size, and 2 works for you in the garden.
Good morning, welcome back to In the Garden. Paul and Taft here. You know, Paul, whenever we think about the yard, a lot of times we think we got this big space and we try to think of this bush or plant that's really going to cover a lot of ground, but then there are those places where we don't have a lot of space, but we want some vertical development, and that's what we have today. The ones that aren't going to grow that far out, but they're going to grow up for us.
Vertical plants, small spaces.
Okay.
These are sometimes the best problem solvers. And they're not necessarily for small spaces. You can put them anywhere in a landscape,
Okay.
but they're just ideally suited for those tight, narrow spots. And then, you know, a lot of people are in courtyards now, you know, condos and stuff. They don't have a lot of room. These are dynamite. This is the first one I want to show you. This is the Taylor juniper. Hugely popular, 15, 18 feet by 2 feet.
Wow.
So, gonna really grow up, but not out.
Which you can't beat that as well.
Now here, we've featured this plant before because it's one of my favorites. This is the PV minaret. It's a bald cypress.
Okay.
Now this is deciduous, so it will lose these leaves. It's already starting to a little bit now, but 10 feet by 3 feet. You know, most bald cypresses, the species anyway, they'll get 70 feet or more. This stays nice and small, really compact plant, and it just has this really cool look to it. This will develop a nice cinnamon colored fall foliage. It's really nice.
Okay, really nice.
Now, this is one of my favorite plants of all. This is a cryptomeria.
Okay.
This is sometimes called the Japanese cedar. It's the national tree of Japan. We're talking anywhere from 6 to 10 feet and about 3 feet. It's an evergreen. Does need some afternoon shade, but it can tolerate a good deal of sun during the day. And just, it's so dense and so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
It just is a great option for people. And this is less familiar than a lot of plants.
Yeah, it is pretty, and you see just that difference in this color as to the next one that we're looking at, that these varieties, just unbelievable. They really are. A lot of ideas that we can have with this.
Well, we go from green to blue. So the classic blue atlas cedar, you see them all over Tulsa. Those will get 40, 50 feet tall at maturity. This is a variety called Horseman, and it stays nice and small. So you're looking at, probably 10 feet or so, maybe 3, 4 feet wide. So in an area where you want that tree look, but you don't have a whole lot of room for a big tree.
Okay.
Or what a lot of people love to do is plant these in threes. You'll see those all over town. This is the one that you want to do that with.
Okay.
If you do it with those full-size ones, you're going to have to cut 2 of them down at some point in the future. Now, the Deodara cedar, this is a little different beast. This is called Carl Fuchs, and you're looking at 12 to 15 feet by 2 or 3 feet.
Okay.
Again, I mean, this makes an ideal, you know, we talked about specimens a while back. This would make a great specimen as well. So a real standout in any size garden, really. And I love this one. It's got a little bit of a weeping habit to it. So it's a real interesting plant. Not that well known around here, but worthy of consideration by all means.
When we talk about these plants that you could put as a specimen, you're not going to see the same one twice. They're all going to be totally different. That's one thing that's so nice about them.
You know, yews have been hugely popular for a long, long time. I love them. But the traditional yew that we see is a real shrub-like form and can get quite large. This is called Viridis, and this is a very upright, 10 foot by 2 foot at maturity. So what a statement that could make. I mean, it just doesn't take up much room at all. Evergreen, and of course the spring foliage when it comes out is that really lime green, chartreusey, gorgeous, gorgeous foliage in the spring. This one is a real upright grower. This is called Green Spire. And again, we're talking maybe 6 to 8 feet and just 2 feet.
And then this one at the end, this one definitely looks interesting, unlike any of the others that we've seen so far.
I had to throw this in because this is one of my favorite plants. This is called a fine line buckthorn.
Okay.
Now, it's deciduous, but it's already beginning to color up. Its fall color is really beautiful, this buttery yellow. And the bark is real interesting too. It almost looks like it has scale, but it's just, the nature of the bark is such that you have these little white specks all over it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people are looking for. They're looking maybe for those plants that you just don't see everywhere, because it's going to be that one that people are going to go, wow, what is that and how can I get one?
Well, we're always on the lookout for something new.
Okay, so what we're basically saying is these plants, they are going to grow up and not out.
Unlike the two of us,
which is the exact opposite.
because we've never grown up and we continue to grow out.
Yeah, as we get older, we're growing out indeed. Some great ideas indeed. Thanks a lot, Paul. Appreciate it.